What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and, to the surprise of absolutely nobody who pays attention, Stellar Blade's release in a few days is going to completely wreck games journalists.
I want you guys to like me, and you look at me like I'm a freak.
I'd say that journalists had staked their reputation on this game being shut down and censored, but that ship sailed long ago. The reputation of games journalists has been at the bottom of the toilet for a while now. Their brains have been broken. Eve from Stellar Blade is apparently a big problem because she's just for the male gaze. But journalists went gaga over another scantily clad character for being sexy, and they are scrambling like hell to try to justify the sheer hypocrisy.
I'm trying to help you.
Really? By judging me on my appearance and the way I talk? What's the difference between me using my sexuality and you using those glasses to look smart?
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter where I keep a list of woke/DEI infested games pinned to my account at all times. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But we are going to read about this complete irrational hypocrisy from games journalists in this article from Bounding into Comics. Link in the description. The headline says, "Hypocrisy at its finest. After years of complaining about sexy female characters, Western video game industry publicly thirsts over cast of Hades 2. In a textbook example of the idiom, rules for thee, but not for me, after years of chastising and decrying the general video game playing populace for enjoying attractive female character designs, the Western video game industry has responded to the recent reveal of Hades 2's new character designs by publicly and proudly proclaiming just how much they'd like to sleep with each and every one of them.
What are you looking at? You've never seen a hypocrite before?
Therein, not only were players given their first look at the updated appearances of a handful of the Greek gods who are set to return from the first game, Demeter, Artemis, Selene, and Aphrodite, but were also introduced to newcomer Hephaestus. This incarnation portraying the mythical blacksmith as a portly and wheelchair-bound amputee, and despite having spent the past few weeks accusing anyone who dared to enjoy the attractive design of Stellar Blade protagonist Eve of being everything from incels to pornography addicts, near immediately after Hades 2 made its character reveals, members of the wider video game industry, in particular, and unsurprisingly, video game journalists, took to the internet to celebrate just how sexy the aforementioned Greek gods are. And I'd like to take a time out real quick here and point out that any person who throws out the term incel as an insult repeatedly is simply not a serious person. That is literally someone saying, "You're ugly, so you can't possibly be correct." But in any event, they have an example, or a series of examples I should say, of journalists going crazy over these new characters revealed in Hades 2, which admittedly, I actually don't think they're very good looking, but whatever, to each their own. But this guy says, it is very funny that there are chuds out there being like, the woke gaming journalists hate sexy women. Meanwhile, my entire timeline is hootin' and hollerin' about these Hades 2 character portraits, proclaimed Lex Luddy, the editor-in-chief of the video game news site Start Menu.
Duh.
This isn't the win this moron thinks it is. Seriously, the only difference that I can see between a character like this is Aphrodite. The only difference between her and Eve from Stellar Blade seems to be that gamers who oppose wokeness seem to like Eve. Therefore, the knee-jerk reaction from these activists masquerading as journalists was to hate on her and feign moral outrage, when in reality, they don't give a shit from a moral perspective. They only dislike Eve because we like her. But the article continues, how did they make them even hotter? Replied Games Radar and games industry contributor Alicia Haddock. They must be stopped. Likewise, The Last of Us 2 senior technical gameplay animator Maybe Rains exclaimed, they made them hotter. Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercant, who readers may know for having authored the site's now notorious defense of Sweet Baby Inc., took particular interest in Aphrodite, retweeting her design and questioning, Mommy? Sorry. Once again, I submit to you, in the face of this literal nude woman being fawned over by journalists, that all the outrage they had for Stellar Blade was literally because we like it. They are simply determined to oppose us. Their entire purpose is subversion. But then the article says, retweeting Mercant's post, PC Gamer contributor Dominic Tarrison mocked Gamergaters. The wokes are stealing all the sexy from games. Hates too. Yes, our game is the most inclusive, progressive take on Greek myth ever written, and also the maximum horny you can possibly get, while still somehow squeaking in with a T rating. Once again, the dude misunderstands the situation. For some reason, these people think that suddenly reversing your position on a topic is a huge win. It's like they've never even heard of the term hypocrisy before, and really, that is because these woke activists do not understand the world through a lens of morality and principle. They speak one language: power. This is what they call repressive tolerance. It's where everything people on their side do is okay, and everything done by people misaligned with their activism is bad. Taking note of the fact that this outpouring of safe, horny rhetoric was coming from the same industry that almost universally spent the last few years condemning them for similar behavior towards characters such as Nier Automata's 2B, Bayonetta's title protagonist, and most recently Stellar Blade's Eve, players eventually took to directly calling out those thirsting over the cast of Hades 2 for the sheer hypocrisy of their what you like bad, what I like good outlook towards their media consumption. In turn, rather than admitting to the glaringly obvious hypocrisy of their stance on sexy characters, or at least having a bias towards conventionally attractive characters, the industry instead took to making justifications for their double standard. And I'm gonna spare you having to listen to their absolutely ridiculous defense. The defense of this Alyssa Mercant of their sheer hypocrisy seems to be, well, the Hades 2 characters are still frame images and Stellar Blades isn't, so that makes it different. But she's full of shit, clear up to her eyebrows. These people will always try to over-intellectualize in order to justify their nonsense. Let's be real, the hope is that if they throw a large enough word salad in front of you, that by the time you're done with it, you'll be too full to eat the hypocritical main course. But I'm gonna leave it there. In a few days, Stellar Blade finally gets released, and the sales numbers will make the heads of these activists explode. But you tell me in the comment section, can you see any merit in the defense of what appears to be blatant hypocrisy, or are they completely full of crap? Drop your thoughts down below and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.